What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Thursday video here at SeemsGoodMagic.com. My name is Sam, and as always, I am glad that you're here. Before we start this video, if you want to check me out somewhere else, you can always check me out at Twitch, twitch.tv/SamBall49. We stream every single day, 4 a.m. EST to like 10, 11 a.m. EST. This week's Cube Week, we're going to be throwing in some mono, throwing in some standard. We're working on a few things for like F&Ms, for friends at PPTQs, stuff like that. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what it takes to be a Magic streamer, because I get this question a lot. Now that I'm getting like 100, 200, 300 viewers at a time on my stream very regularly, I get the question almost every day, like, I want to be a streamer, how should I do it? Or what do you think about this tactic for streaming? Or what do you use? What kind of machine do you use? What equipment do you use? So I just wanted to give the full rundown. Links to everything are going to be down in the description below. I'm going to split this video into like two parts. This first part is going to be gear. The second part is going to be like chat, how to deal with trolls, and how to grow your brand. It all starts with a webcam. That's really where it starts, because most webcams have built-in mics, so if you can't afford a webcam, just use the mic. You'll be able to make the sound reasonable enough once later on in your software. I use this Logitech C920 1080p webcam. It's pretty standard. It's what most people use. You can go with a newer one. You can go with a slightly older one, but it's like 50 bucks. It's like in everybody's price range basically, and it's awesome. It has an onboard mic. Now, what I use for a mic instead, because I like it better, I'm a professional video maker and I don't have it available, is this Blue Ice snowball microphone. And this is also about 50 bucks. The entire setup together is about 100. It's totally reasonable. It's totally great. You can record a podcast on it if you want to. You can do everything. So those are really the two things. I also have an extra monitor. You know, I have a standalone mouse. I have headphones to listen to music to. But those are just kind of like extras, right? I don't need the extra monitor for chat and OBS. I can run it off of one computer. But I do need some way for them to hear me and some way for them to see me, and I need a machine. Now, OBS XSplit, I recommend OBS. There's a ton of tutorials on the internet. This is not going to be one of those. If you want to check one out, Michael Jacob did one a while ago, AJ Soccer did one a while ago. There are a ton of OBS Magic the Gathering related tutorials on the internet. But even if you're dealing with like just the microphone off my headphones, which I've had to do before when everything else broke and worked just fine, the only thing you might have to change is you might have to like change the level of your microphone, or you might have to up music or up like background noise, or, you know, decrease background noise a little bit. But those are all reasonable things that you can do in OBS to make it better. So once you have those two set up, it's all about the computer. The minimum I've heard is like an i5 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, terabyte of storage or something. That's like the minimum it takes to run MTGO and stream. I run a second monitor. I have an i7 with those stats, and it's tough for my computer right now. I'm going to be upgrading to a new desktop. A dedicated desktop is definitely the way to go, but I've been streaming off, an i7 laptop for, what, 2.5 months, and I'm able to stream in crisp 1080p, and there are no real issues. Yeah, there are some backend issues. It's a little slower than I wish it was. It's not a dedicated computer to streaming, so there are some problems with that arise with that. There's some things I can't necessarily do on the production end that I wish I could do, that I have to upgrade for. But just for getting all the basics done, my computer situation, this is pretty budget setup. This entire setup, my laptop, my monitor, my mouse, my headphones, like the entire setup. I have these lights here that are just like some random like light bulbs. The entire setup's less than $1,000, everything included. You know, I have like foam on the walls to dampen the sound. The entire setup's less than $1,000. If you have the computer already, which most people do, which I already had, I put the entire thing together for less than $200. So to get your stream from like to good quality isn't that expensive. To get it from good to great's, of course, expensive, but from going from what I was to good is not that expensive. So now what I want to talk about is like chat protocol, how to deal with haters, how to deal with lovers, everything in between. When I stream, I'm focused on being relaxed, entertaining, and upbeat. Those are the three things I focus on. I like playing cool standard brews because I think it like draws in an audience, and they're fun, and it keeps me on my toes, and brewing's really exciting. It's a cool way to like bring the community into your process. You know, people are recommending cards, recommending decks, recommending sideboard options and things like that. So that's really fun for me. Everyone's going to get haters, whether you have two viewers or 1,000 viewers. It's just how frequently they occur. What I will say is that I treat them with love. If you come in my stream and you tell me that I'm ugly and should kill myself, I tell you, like, yeah, I'm not the prettiest, but hopefully you can deal with that because I hope I make good content. Like, I say something like that. Just kind of play it off, be a little self-deprecating. It kind of makes fun of the person making fun of you, and it puts the spotlight back on them. Of course, you can always ban them if worse comes to worse. But what you'll find sometimes, you can sometimes actually turn those people into viewers, strangely enough. It's weird how that works. But someone coming in to hate, if you show them a little bit of love, sometimes they become a viewer. So that's kind of how I deal with that. The way I deal with the love is I don't pump myself up too much because I don't want to get deflated too much. So if someone comes in and says, like, I'm the best streamer ever, they love me, whatever, not that that happens a lot because, it really doesn't. The hate honestly happens more for everyone. But if someone says those things, I just say, oh, thank you, man. I'm really humbled. I really appreciate it. But you got to stay humble. You got to stay on the grind. As soon as you let it get to your head, your content starts to suffer, your work ethic starts to suffer, etc., etc. Schedule-wise, you need to be consistent. If you can consistently stream 4 hours every day from like 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., do it. But make sure that everybody that's watching you knows what's happening. If you have to get them to like you on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram in order to be able to shout that out when you're going live, do it. But make sure they know so they can hang out. Make sure you encourage people to follow so that they're like with you every single day. Don't push donations too much. Don't push Patreon too much. If you get to a point where you have 200, 300, 400 viewers, sure, you can give yourself a little shout out. Be like, hey, I put in like 100 hours this week. I just want to appreciate it. I just want to say thank you to everybody watching so much. Like, it really makes my dream come true that I'm putting in all this work and people are really appreciating it. I do have a Patreon. I just started it. Say that and then tell them what they get. I do have a Patreon. I just started it. Everybody that joins this week gets blah, 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 blah. You know, make it worth it for them beyond just helping you out. So that's kind of my quick rundown of streaming, my guide to streaming. I've only been in the game 2 months. Hopefully after 2 more months, I'll be able to give you a more comprehensive guide and approach. But I wanted to say thank you. What I will say is if you're streaming Magic, there are a ton of options like Card Hoarder. You can become Card Hoarder partnered, or you can, like, part of the Card Hoarder network, which means you get to borrow cards for free. You only need like 20 to 30 concurrent average viewers to get that. So there are some good options for small Magic streamers to kind of get hosts, get more follows, grow their empire. You know, start small, grow big. That's kind of the idea. But thank you everybody so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you next Wednesday, hopefully with some more Vintage Cube.